Hi, I'm Alice and you're watching Alice Cooks Indian. Today I'm going to be making Matar Paneer. This is a well-known classic and it's actually really easy to make. Just a few simple ingredients and the end result is a really amazing dish. This is one of my favourites. So let's cook this together. So let's walk through the ingredients that you'll need for this recipe. You'll be needing your paneer. This is about 250 grams that I've got, and I'll be using frozen peas. Now, as for the base gravy, the key is that we'll be using double the amount of tomatoes to onions. So I've got 2 small onions and 4 tomatoes. Then I've got about an inch of ginger, about 4 garlic cloves and 1 chilli. And then my coriander we'll be using for garnishing later on. Now you'll notice that everything's roughly chopped. No need to finely chop for this recipe because we'll be blending it later on. So I've got about 4 to 5 tablespoons of hot oil, which is in my pan. And I'm going to start by adding the ginger and garlic. Now this is going to saute for just a quick 30 seconds. We're not cooking this until it's brown, just a quick saute. And now we're going to add the onion. Again, this is going to saute for just a quick 1 minute. Now again, don't worry about how big the pieces are. We're going to be blending this later on. So the onions have been sweating for about a minute, and at this stage I'm going to add my tomatoes and also my chilli. Now to help the tomatoes break down a little bit quicker, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And this will just help release some moisture from the tomatoes. Now I'm going to add about 1 cup of water. Lovely. And now we're going to cook this until the tomatoes are nice and soft and mushy. Lovely. Now this is all on a low to medium flame, and I'm also going to be putting the lid on to help it along. So I'm just going to add the lid and let it cook. This is going to take about 5 to 7 minutes. So let's take a quick look at how it's going. Lovely, it's boiling away nicely. I think it can go on for another few minutes. So I'm just going to put the lid back on, let it cook. The great thing about Indian cooking is that there's loads of variations on recipes. So take Matar Paneer for example. Some people like to toast the paneer beforehand. Some people like to add yogurt to the gravy. Let me know in the comments what you do. And also let me know if there's any other paneer recipes that you'd like me to show you. So back to the recipe. Our tomatoes are looking nicely cooked and broken down. And this concludes our first stage of the recipe. So I'm going to switch off our heats, and all that's left to do is let this cool down before we blend it. So my mixture's cooled down enough for me to be able to transfer the whole thing to the blender, and then I'll be blending to a fine puree. So now we're ready to start adding some flavour to our puree. Now I've got about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil, which is heated up on our pan. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Now this is going to sizzle just for a few seconds. And now I'm going to add 1 heaped teaspoon of red chilli powder. Now this is going to stay literally just for 1 second, and now I'm going to add my puree. Now just take care if this starts sizzling a little bit. Now by adding the chili powder at the start, it gives a really nice deeper red colour to the dish. I'm also going to add the other spices at this stage. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of coriander powder. And I'm also going to add 1 flat teaspoon of turmeric. And then just give this a nice stir. Wonderful, and you can already see that this red colour from the chili that we added at the start is coming through. So you'll notice that we didn't add salt along with the other spices because we already added this into our puree the first time round. Now I've added the lid and we're just going to cook until it reduces down to a paste. So you'll need to stir this every now and then, but be careful when you do. This is quite a wild gravy, so it will be spitting a little bit. Just keep it on a medium to low flame and just cook until it reduces down to a paste. So you can see that our gravy has reduced down to this paste consistency and it's got this lovely deep orange colour. Now I was stirring it now and then just to make sure that it doesn't stick to the sides. It's at this stage that I'm going to add my paneer. And I'm also going to add my peas. Now I'm using frozen peas, so I can add it at this stage. Otherwise you'll have to pre-boil yours. Lovely. And I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of Garam masala. And just give this a stir. So now that it's well combined, we're going to add 1.5 cups of water. Now I'm adding warm water because I find that it helps to integrate better with the gravy. Great. Now we're just going to mix and we're going to bring this to a boil. Now this is going to help the paneer absorb all that wonderful flavour from the gravy. So I'm going to add the lid and let it come to the boil. If you'd like, you can taste the gravy at this stage and adjust the salt. And also I added 1.5 cups of water, but you can adjust this according to the consistency that you prefer. Top tip, I like to bring my paneer to a room temperature before I use it in any of my recipes. And what that does is it makes it a lot softer and easier to absorb any flavours. So my Matar Paneer has been cooking for another 5 minutes after adding the water, and you can see that it's come to a boil. Now I'm going to add my fresh coriander. Wonderful. Now this isn't just a garnish, it's really going to add to the flavour of the dish. Do not skip this step. Wonderful. Now I'm going to be able to switch off my heat and we're ready to serve. So, serving time. Just going to put this into my dish. It's got such a beautiful consistency. So, there you have it. Matar Paneer. You have to give this absolute classic a try. Let me know how it goes in the comments and give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel for more authentic Indian recipes. See you next time. Bye bye.